From being a dominant big man in the league to putting up some seriously impressive performances on the court, does Joel Embiid's dominance make him deserving of the NBA's MVP crown? Let's start with the numbers. This season, Embiid has been averaging an impressive 33.2 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game. Those are some seriously impressive stats, putting him up there with the best players in the league. But the question is, are they enough to earn him the MVP award? Well, there's more to consider than just the numbers. His impact on the team is also a huge factor. The Philadelphia 76ers are currently behind the Bucks and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, but the player has played a huge role in getting them there at third place. I mean, he's been their go-to scorer, rebounder, and defensive anchor, leading them to 49 wins. Even when their other star player, Ben Simmons, has struggled a bit, but there are also some arguments against his MVP candidacy. For one, he's missed 14 games this season, which could hurt his chances. And then other players are also putting up impressive numbers, like LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and Steph Curry. So where does our boy stand in the MVP race? Well, it's hard to say. There are certainly arguments for and against his candidacy. Sure, our boy's path to the NBA MVP award may not be easy, but it certainly is thrilling, especially because his focus isn't just on himself as a dominant player on the court, but also towards leading his team to a championship win. And boy, is he making strides. I mean, hello, are we forgetting about the game against the Milwaukee Bucks on the 5th of March, where he and James Harden led the Philadelphia 76ers to victory? Not to mention, this stopped the longest active win streak in the NBA at 16 games. And how can I forget to mention his game-winning three-pointer in the final seconds? My man has proven time and time again that he's a force to be reckoned with on the court. What's even more impressive is that this wasn't the only time he beat two MVP rivals. Now, some might argue that Giannis Antetokounmpo scored more points, but then again, Embiid had 0 turnovers compared to 7 from him. And you might ask, what about Harden? Well, we can't argue that his performance against the Bucks was good, but are individual stats better than team effort? Because they pale in comparison to winning a championship, which is what our boy has his eyes set on. Unfortunately, though, the Phillies are still 5 games behind the Bucks for the number 1 seed. This means that Embiid's chances of getting MVP are pretty slim. Don't lose hope, though, because he can still get MVP if he leads his team to the Eastern Conference Championship. I mean, he's not one to shy away from a challenge, so while Embiid may not be focused on individual awards, he certainly deserves recognition for his impressive performances. And if the Sixers continue winning, the rest will just fall into place. Either way, it's a great time to be an NBA fan. But hey, let's not forget that Antetokounmpo isn't that far behind in the MVP race. I mean, the competition is intense when you add Nikola Jokic into the mix too. It shouldn't be surprising though, because these three have been competing for the MVP title for the past 3 years, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. But this season, we also have Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic vying for the same award. Nobody can deny that they've been playing exceptionally well. Unfortunately, Doncic and the Mavericks have been struggling to maintain consistency, and they currently find themselves in the play-in situation with a .50 record in 70 games played. This puts Doncic at a disadvantage, especially when Embiid has been considered one of the favorites to win the MVP award. And another factor that comes into play when deciding on the MVP award is a player's value to their team in the league, and the 3 top contenders have very similar statistics. So this makes it difficult to determine who's the most valuable. Sure, Jokic is currently the favorite to win the award with the odds of -360, but Embiid has shown that he's capable of pulling off an upset, just like he did when he went up against Jokic and the Nuggets earlier in the season. I mean, he had several signature performances in recent games, including a 31-point and 10-assist outing against the Milwaukee Bucks and a 42-point performance against the Indiana Pacers. What makes him such a strong MVP contender is his ability to score at all 3 levels and draw fouls. So while Jokic is the clear favorite at this point, Embiid's fans believe he has a chance to edge him out with his strong performances. And at the end of the day, Joel is considered one of the greatest players of all time in the world of basketball, leaving his mark with his offense and defense skills. So his fans believe he's deserving of the MVP award, the award that has been fleeing away from him for so many years. What'll help him is his team is going on a winning streak to finish ahead of Denver, or first in the East. I mean, the 76ers' recent performance indicates that a winning streak is not out of the question. But then again, he doesn't exactly have social media on his side. And unless that changes, Embiid might have to wait until next year to get MVP, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You see, this way, he can spend the offseason making sure that his team doesn't get off to a slow start again. And he could lead his 76ers to a clear first-place finish in the conference and play more games to boost his chances. While winning the award this year may be challenging, he can continue to work on his skills and lead his team to victory in future seasons. Either way, the story of his life in the NBA, together with other great players, is something that we should celebrate and appreciate. And one thing's for sure, he's been playing at an incredibly high level this season, and he's helped lead his team to the top 3 spots in the standings. Whether or not he ultimately wins the MVP award, there's no denying that he's one of the best players in the league right now. There are certainly arguments to be made on both sides of the debate. On one hand, fans are going wild over the stats that are boosting his chances of winning the MVP award this season.
In a different approach, he's trying to focus on the right things, win games, dominate, which I've been doing, and whatever happens, happens. Obviously, we would love to, win one. That's the best award anyone can get.
According to reports, Embiid has posted a plus 16.9 plus-minus rating in his last 11 games. This means the 76ers have outscored opponents by an average of 16.9 points per 100 possessions when he's on the court. Now that's pretty impressive. But that doesn't help the divide between Jokic and Embiid. I mean, it's not hard to think about the fact that Nikola won the award last season. Not only that, but he became the lowest drafted player ever to do so, while averaging 5 triple-doubles, leading the Nuggets to a solid playoff position. So it's only natural for both sides of the debate to feel conflicted. Either way, everybody can agree that our boy has what it takes. But sitting out the game against the Nuggets on the 27th of March wasn't the right move, especially because his rival scored 25 points, 17 rebounds, and 12 assists. So that hurt Embiid's chances a little bit, because this game could have gone a long way towards securing the MVP award for him. But whether you're a Sixers fan or just a basketball enthusiast, it's not hard to be impressed by our guy's skill and dominance. I mean, Jokic himself has called him a beast, and that's saying something.
Winning games and dominating, but I'm excited about the playoffs. That's where, I feel like, I feel good. I feel good about myself and my team. So I just want to make sure that, all of us, we get there healthy and, we do what we got to do.
Well, that's it from me about Joel Embiid's worthiness of the MVP award.